The Ottawa Senators traded forward Mike Hoffman on Tuesday to San Jose, which is literally as far as they could send him in the NHL without paying someone $50 to throw him in the Pacific Ocean. They got back, well, does it matter? When you need to dump a body, it's hard to haggle too much over the price. Of course, that argument was harder to make when San Jose traded Hoffman to Florida 2 hours later, and got back a better return than Ottawa did. It's impressive to lose 2 trades in one day, especially when you only made one. Mike Hoffman, right, became toxic to the Ottawa Senators the moment the wife of teammate Erik Karlsson filed a protection order against Hoffman's fiancée over persistent and horrifying cyberbullying. Scott Odette, NHLI via Getty Images, such as the whirlpool of despair in which the Senators swirl. Hoffman was their leading goal scorer over the past 4 seasons, and is 24th in the league in that span. He was a homegrown 5th-round pick, on a decent contract. And he couldn't have been more toxic if he was owner Eugene Melnick's ex-liver. Read more. Hoffman traded twice in a day after partners alleged cyberbullying of Karlsson's wife. Article continued below. Hill could see more fun this offseason thanks to the salary cap increases. Anita's Hoffman, fiancé, deny cyberbullying claims made by Karlsson's wife. We did our homework, and we discussed it with a lot of people, and we feel that's in the past. Florida Panthers general manager Dale Talon said. We are very confident that he'll be embraced by our team and by their wives, girlfriends. Hoffman was radioactive from the moment Erik Karlsson's wife Melinda filed a protection order against Hoffman's fiancée Monica Carrick last week, accusing Carrick of persistent and horrifying cyberbullying. Hoffman and Carrick professed innocence and shock, though it seems unlikely the Karlssons would have filed the order without some form of confirmation. The Ottawa Citizen reported an active police investigation into stalking allegations is ongoing. So Hoffman was put on the first toxic material tanker out of town, with a 5th-round pick and defenseman Cody Donaghy. From San Jose, Ottawa got back the thoroughly unremarkable Mikkel Boedker, with 2 years and $8 million left on his contract, a 22-year-old defenseman named Julius Bergman, and a 2026 6th-round pick. Not much. It was like a variation on the old "Henny young man" line, take his wife please. Of course, San Jose's Doug Wilson then flipped Hoffman back into Ottawa's division along with a 6th-round pick for a 2nd-rounder, a 4th-rounder, and 2 5th-rounders. Doug Wilson created cap space and added picks. It was like he was the one trying to rebuild. We had been contacted by Ottawa last week, and we kind of let it lie, because it was too big a price to pay, and we looked at this deal and we felt that this would be a perfect fit for our team, said Talon. The harmony of the wives and girlfriends room is important. I think they get along better when the team wins more. Article continued below. Ottawa may not do that again for a while. The Senators also owe the Colorado Avalanche a 1st-round pick either this year or next as part of the Matt Duchene deal. Disaster. It was just over a year ago that Ottawa's Pierre Dorion was a finalist for General Manager of the Year, after Ottawa somehow slid to double overtime of Game 7 of the conference final, with Karlsson limping around on one leg. Then last year everything fell apart, and the franchise has veered into embarrassment. We're not even getting into how it took them nearly 2 weeks to suspend assistant GM Randy Lee over harassment allegations. The fan campaign to drive out Melnick hasn't made a dent, but he remains the source of so much of their garage sale dysfunction. It was December, at their outdoor game, when Melnick carped about fan support, telling reporters, "Here, we're fighting every day to sell a ticket, honest to God. When you get to the 3rd round of the playoffs and you're begging people to buy a ticket, something's wrong with that picture. Even at $68 million in salaries, that's way too much over a revenue base that we have." If you want to go bankrupt, have the cheapest product on the market and the best product. We're giving the best product. Asked about relocation, Melnick said, if it becomes a disaster, yes. If you start not seeing crowds showing up, yes. But for now, we are on the cusp of doing okay. So now the Senators have let the trade value of a scoring winger implode. The club had known about the allegations since the end of the season, and were unable or unwilling to mitigate them before they went public, and are expected to trade Karlsson and center Zach Smith as early as this week. Which means they are at the stage of the rebuild where they pour gasoline all over the countertops and light a match. What will be left? Dorion seems out of his depth, and Karlsson was their generational player, a truly transcendent figure. Ownership is driving him away, the way it drove franchise icon Daniel Alfredsson away before him. If Melnick doesn't sell, and the club trades Karlsson for anything less than a ransom, the Leafs should make an offer. Who will want to hack their way through afternoon traffic to that outdated, sterile barn to watch the expiring contracts of Duchesne and Mark Stone lose 60 games? What did Melnick say in December about the prospect of relocation? If it becomes a disaster, yes. Melnick should sell, but then, some people are slow to admit defeat. A little over a year ago, the Senators were a goal from the Stanley Cup final. That's the joke. Bruce Arthur is a Toronto-based sports columnist. Follow him on Twitter, @Bruce_Arthur.